In a previous video, I mentioned that I could not get artillery out of a town and onto a square in one turn because the artillery would have to be loaded on to the frigate offshore and then need a second turn to unload near, say, this belligerent Aztec city. But that's not true. And here's how that works. I can go into Boston, look at this artillery here, and choose Sentry, which also is the board ship command. And then look at this. Poof! There's artillery on board. But the cool thing is, it doesn't use the artillery's movement turn. So I can do this. Boom! Artillery in place in one season. So that would have been the smart way to do that. One important strategy for getting rid of entrenched enemies like this ridiculous French unit is by using a worthless decoy. If I was to attack this French unit right here with my dragoons, I would surely fail because he is fortified and in a forest square. He could even be on a mountain square. But if I place someone else in front of him, like this indentured servant, then perhaps I can lure him into a more vulnerable position. Let's try that. And the dragoons will not attack this turn. Ah, you see. The soldiers have decided to attack my indentured servant, who even gets a defense bonus of his own. So this indentured servant himself could defeat the soldiers. But if he does not, then at the end of this turn, the dragoons will have an opportunity to attack the Frenchmen without their fortifications. In this case, the French soldiers were unable to defeat my indentured servant in rough terrain. Get out of here, Doobie. Oh, this is just awkward. Well, those are some strong indentured servants. Anyway, now the French soldier is no longer able to tie up this square in my town, and I can, at my leisure, use my dragoons to take the unit for myself. He still has that 75% defense bonus though, but our dragoons can handle that. Here is a second example of the decoy strategy to dislodge stubborn foreign soldiers. These Dutch dragoons are fortified in the mountains outside Boston, and you will recall that I wasted tons and tons of horses trying to dislodge him in the conventional way, and I even resorted to using artillery, but even that didn't work, because these dragoons get a 200% defensive bonus plus their fortification bonus in the mountains here. But if I can get rid of that fortification bonus, then I might be able to defeat him. Let's see what I have in Boston. Not a whole lot. I'll give myself an extra set of dragoons in case the mountain fighting proves to be too much. Now, I can send this indentured servant, a worthless decoy unit, to one of two locations. I can send him into the plains here, or I can send him into the jungle. Now, apart from the obvious decision here that the jungle has better cover than the plains, I have to consider which way is this guy going to attack, And where's my unit going to go? I just want to know what's going to happen. So I will go south into the jungle to sort of induce these Dutchmen to stop fortifying themselves in Boston's hills. And then we can use the square again for mining. Here we go. I'm not going to use the dragoons this turn. And of course they immediately take the bait. And they are successful. But they are no longer fortified. So, let's have a look over here and see if we can't do something with these guys. Just, no. No. Go to the front. Alright. Let's try it. So, alright, it's not 200%, it's 150%. But the fortification bonus adds a lot of difficulty onto that. Whereas the situation we have here puts us at a disadvantage, but at least it's one that we can, with a considerable amount of horses, win. Well, we lost that battle. See if we can do better with this guy. Maybe not. I don't know. Alright, second try. Well, it didn't work. And I don't really have any other units here that would really be of any use. I mean, I could always try with this guy, but, you know, he's got a huge disadvantage. Well, in this case, I wasn't able to dislodge the Dutchman here. And the indentured servant is currently under Dutch control. But the square is again available for use, and I'm in a much better position attacking this guy not fortified than when he is fortified. Artillery work in unique ways in colonization. If they attempt to attack units in the field, they receive an attack bonus of 2. The base value for artillery attack is 5, but when they're attacking, they have an attack of 7. However, if they attempt to attack in the field, they receive a large 75% penalty for attacking in the field. However, this penalty does not apply if the artillery are attacking units fortified outside of colonies, like in this situation. The artillery gets the 2 attack bonus, plus the bonus for attacking, and the dragoons, on the other hand, have all their bonuses for being entrenched. So for this particular analysis, we have 7 plus 50%, which is what, 10.5? Versus 3 plus 175%. 100% of 3 is 6, 175. We're looking at around 9 versus 10.5. The artillery failed in this attack. Artillery, however, also make very good defensive units. In this example, near Fort Orange, artillery is in the hills, and if units attack this artillery stationed in the hills, the artillery in open penalty will not apply either. This makes artillery very good for protecting cities or attacking them. Here's a situation which is pretty commonly encountered. I have a nice colony here, and now I have foreigners intruding on our soil in San Salvador, which I might feel ambivalent about, except for the fact that when there's enough of these guys clustered around the colonies, I can't use my own roads. This is the source of many a war. Well, we're not actually at war with the Dutch in this game, So what I can do is I can get a scout, preferably an expert, and send him over to a Dutch city. For some reason the music started before I even decided to talk to them. They've just become Suriname. You must withdraw your forces from outside our colonies. And they're willing to do it. Agreeing to remove the privateers to Europe also tends to please them. And if they are pleased, they are more likely to do what you ask them to do, and less likely to refuse or declare war. But also having a sizable military to resist them if they refuse is important. We can actually induce conversations with the European neighbors in the New World. All that is required is a scout, preferably an expert scout. In this game, as the Spanish, the Dutch are swarming around our fair colony of Havana. And this is not really acceptable, so I'm going to take our expert scout and meet with the Dutch at Fort Orange. If the Europeans ask us to remove our privateers, that is a good way to ingratiate ourselves with them before asking them to remove their units from around our colonies. And, in this case, they agree. Poof! No more Dutch. Havana is safe.